Hi guys, Jared here with Day Traders FX. Hopefully you guys are having a fantastic week. We have had some crazy things going on in the market. So you can see, first of all, there was some Fed news today, and we're going to look at how that turned out on the charts. But it went pretty big. So the QE is a little bit under debate at this point. And that's where we saw a little bit of a hawkish tone from the Fed, and that's always something to keep in mind. You can see stocks plummeted quite a bit. Oil's back down just a little. The Dow's down 110 points. S&P down 20. Pretty big down day, and that all kind of came up from the FOMC minutes that we saw this afternoon. Coming into tomorrow, we have quite a bit of announcements. You can see some French and German news, Spanish. We have U.S. core CPI, unemployment claims for the U.S., existing home sales, Philly Fed manufacturing index, and then some news out of Australia. So we've got a pretty heavy day so far. Okay, so let's look at things. The euro dollar made this run up. We've talked about this 100 times. I even have this highlighted here. 134.30 ran up to that level perfectly and reversed off of it. So very nice move there. And that started a big, nice downward movement. Now, as I've been talking about this, 132 kind of 60 area is in target, but we got to make sure that there's not too much downward momentum here. So far, we broke the Friday low. Remember, we're always looking for Friday highs and Friday lows. We broke that Friday low, and we're even below it about 35 to 40 pips. You can see here from this kind of short-term channel that the euro dollar is staying pretty nicely in that. It's tested, and now it's heading for the bottom of that. And it's also heading for this bigger ascending trend line right here. And this is where we have the tops of this of these highs back here in December, and we have this ascending trend line. We have a lot of stuff at around 132, 40, 50, 60 area right here. So we're going to be a little curious to see if that is going to hold. You can see that we've broken through the 200-day moving average on the 4-hour chart. Daily chart, we still have a little bit of about 200 pips to go. So at this point, we may see this thing make a run all the way down to our 200-day moving average, which is around, somewhere in that 130.100 to 130.50 even. But I'm going to see if this 132.50 can hold. 132.50, kind of 50, 60, 65 area right in there. We're going to see if that can hold and if we can get a bounce there. Now, we do have a lot of momentum, and so what I want to see is some consolidation. I want to see some, a reversal candle or two would be very helpful. All of that. But remember, we're going to be looking for, a little bit of a push lower, some consolidation, and then see if that holds. So ultimately, I'm going to be eyeing an entry around 132.50 to go long. But we're going to just see how that holds. Keep an eye on Twitter at daytradersfx or Twitter, and it's at daytradersfx. So just keep an eye on that for my updates, and I'll let you know how things develop through the afternoon. Pound dollar still absolutely cannot give us even a pip of upside movement, and it even broke lower once again. Now, here's what's interesting about the pound dollar. Look at the weekly chart. We are sitting on major support here. This is just around that 152.00, 152.50. We're sitting at that. We've tested it several times in the last 2.5 years or so. We've broken this trend line. It's our big monthly trend line. We've broken that, and there's a big downtrend there. Looking to see if we can get a little tiny bit of a bounce, but honestly, I'm not counting on it. I'm not counting on it at this point. I think this pair is going to continue down through those levels. So I'd like to see, a little bit of pullback and see if we can continue selling this. But at this point, it's pretty tough to get into this pair. It's borderline oversold, and it's going to be a little bit tricky. So I'm probably going to sit out the pound dollar for a little while. Aussie dollar is very interesting. Now, we were watching this. This is our weekly low and so on, and we did a little bit on the Aussie dollar. Remember my 103 kind of 65, 75, 85 area that I was looking for. We ran up to that and have just fallen off of that since yesterday. Very nice move there. That's played out fantastically well. Here's what we're looking for on the Aussie dollar. We're getting down into some pretty big, it's been pretty choppy this month. We're getting down to some pretty big support. And we're going to see if everything can kind of move lower or what might be the plan here. My ultimate target for the Aussie dollar is still about 9,800, at least parity, in the beginning. And then I think we're going to break lower into 9,800. So let's see if this little reversal candle pans out to anything. I'm not going to do anything with this yet, but we might be able to get some reversal and some retracement up into this area. It's only about 20 25 to 30 pips away. If we can get up into this 102, 75, 80 area, back into kind of this weekly low, I would love to short off of that level. So I'll be looking for an opportunity to sell off of this this now resistance. So keep an eye on that level and make sure you're ready for any activity that might come into play on that one. So look for that little bounce up and a continuation down. Gold has made a huge run. It's breaking out of this trend line and it's coming into major support, which is around 1520. 23, 22, 15, 20, right in that general area. So we're going to see how it goes there. Just keep an eye on that support. Now here's another one that's pretty interesting. Euro yen. Euro yen. I think this has got a little bit of further downside left in it. This was a channel that we talked about this morning. You can see that the euro yen, if we look at it on the daily chart and then we look at it on the 4-hour chart, we can see that the euro yen has been really, for the last couple of weeks, staying in this channel. We've just come off the top of that channel and we've just broken this. We've got the start of a nice little double top, you know, kind of an M pattern here. We have a lazy M right here, which we always like to look at. That's a nice pattern, nice lazy M right there again. So we've just seen those happen over and over again. So we should be able to see this euro yen continue down into some of the moving averages, into some pivot points and so on, some weekly supports. So what I would like to see here is we're only on this one, well, we're about 40 pips below the low of the week. I'd like to see a little bit of retracement into about 124.50, and I would like to sell short around 124.50. So I'm going to be looking for that and trying to find some opportunities to sell short once again around that 124.50 area. So just keep in mind that that is going to be around, and we want to see if we can get a little bit of pullback and see if we can short down into this double bottom of around 12300, 122.90. So just definitely keep that in mind. You know, we're seeing some movement on euro yen and pound yen. I'm not doing too much on those pairs yet. The Euro Aussie though is getting kind of interesting. We took a little trade on this guy this morning and it ran up into that missed pivot perfectly and then turned around and has come down from there. The Euro Aussie is still pretty choppy and messy. I'm probably not going to do anything on this pair for a little while. It's in a chop zone. I want to see this drop down probably into around 127.50, which is 180 or so pips from current market price, and we'll see where it can go from there. But I think our big focus is a little bit of retracement, some consolidation on euro dollar, maybe a little retracement on euro yen, shorting that pair, Aussie dollar. So I'm really focused on euro dollar, euro dollar, Aussie dollar and euro yen at this point. I think we've got some good setups there. So best of luck, guys. I will see you in the chat and keep an eye on Twitter for some of those setups and updates. Thanks, everyone. Take care.